Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ringside right now, where we are about to give our WrestleMania recap. It was a great show this weekend, and definitely enjoyed it. So before we get into it, I always got to introduce the rest of the crew. We got, Bone Crusher himself, former MCW champion, our man Clint. And of course, if he like it, we know it's Big Boy tested, Big Boy approved. We got Curtis. And then, of course, the superstar, the Mr. Almost Sad Card himself, got Jonathan. And last but not least, you got Calvin.
No gimmick needed,
just
baby.
Calvin, yeah, no gimmicks needed right there.
Baby. All right, so let's go right into it. So we're going to start off with night one of WrestleMania, which actually was, to me, one of the best nights of WrestleMania. And we start off with Austin Theory and John Cena to kick it off. Austin did his typical heel thing, and of course, he ended up winning the match. Tactics. Overall, still a good match. Fellas, what you think about that match overall?
Good match. Overall, Cena did what he came to do, which was put Theory over. I liked it. A lot of people didn't like the whole ref bump, low blow thing, but I mean, he's a heel. You're a heel, you're a young heel against the biggest star in the business. Of course, you're going to cheat. I'm cool with it. I love the match. I think it did what it was supposed to do, and it's make Theory a star. I loved it.
It was short. It was not necessarily the sweetest match, but it didn't overstay its welcome. It was probably like a good 5 minutes, perhaps, but it was a quality 5 minutes. It did what it was supposed to do, and I got no complaints about it.
Yeah, great appetizer match. Got a heel, brought in a name that people know, so it's a good WrestleMania is on. Like, even if you're a casual fan, you're gonna look and see what John Cena's doing. You're gonna hate this new irritating kid that's coming out. So, did what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, good opener.
I think Theory's a future star, man. I think he's a world champion in waiting. I think he's going to be. He's really got it finally. I think, and Cena didn't look out of place. He looked great. So it's always good to see him. And whenever he decides to retire, obviously he's a Hall of Famer. And it'd be great if they could let him do what Ray did and still be wrestling and go in the Hall of Fame at the same time. I thought that was awesome.
Well, I mean, who knows? It's still time.
Yeah, it's always time. But again, that was a perfect way to start off the show. Like Calvin said, it's a great appetizer. Oh, Mania's on. Let me watch. And of course, with Cena, Big Match John, he always finds a way to make it more relevant, at least to start. So next, we actually have the fatal four-way men's showcase tag match. It's always kind of iffy when it comes to the four-way tags because so many bodies in the ring. But this actually was a very good match, especially the cool spot with the Tower of Doom, with everybody on it, with the Street Profits pulling out the win. So to me, I definitely think that was a good follow-up to the Theory Cena match. What say you, fellas?
It was a surprisingly good match. I didn't expect any of the showcase matches to be any good. I expected those to be the bathroom break matches, and that really shocked me. I took some notes because something came to mind when that match came up. I said to myself, this reminds me of one of the multi-tag matches from Wrestle Kingdom. It just had that feel to it. And I mean, it was truly a showcase. Everyone looked good. The Viking Raiders got a chance to show that they can move from the top rope. Braun even went into the air, did some moves. He went around and did his Strowman Express, and here comes Dawkins and threw him in the air. I mean, it was just
that was incredible.
That was awesome. That match made a star out of every team. I gotta say.
Yeah, everybody looked good.
Yeah, so I loved it.
I had three things: Ricochet's flip off the top rope out of the ring.
Oh,
Braun's frog splash. And then Dawkins pounce on Braun. Man, it was just I popped for all three of those things.
That was awesome. Yes.
And I thought for sure the Viking Raiders are going to win. I don't have a problem. The Street Profits are over, and them against KO and Sammy would be a great match, I think.
Yeah. Plus, the Street Profits needed that win. Like I said, they've been on a losing streak as a tag team. I mean, even in singles for a while. So they needed that big win. But I think every team came out and winning that match.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, I actually picked Ricochet and Braun because you would think, okay, they're the household names. They're going to be, and they got them doing the tag team program. And it seemed like you would think they would get the win, but I thought this was probably going to be an average match and possibly some clusters here and there, but it was a surprisingly good match. And the finish was amazing. I mean, you had one, I believe it was Ricochet. He missed his spot, and then next thing you know, here comes Montez Ford flying out of the building to get the win.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking the Viking Raiders would win because, like, I feel like they need a good big stage win, like the new and improved Viking Raiders. They kind of look tough. Everyone else is pretty much already over, but it was still a great match. Like new stuff that you haven't seen them do. Like I'm not going to say the frog splash from Brock Storm. That's like a Komodo dragon splash.
That was that was
Yeah.
incredible. I would not want him landing on me. It was a spot fest, but it wasn't like shoved down your throat. It was very fluid and it worked. That was what made it so great.
Oh, and then Otis doing the world's strongest slam on Strowman. That was awesome too.
That definitely.
So yeah, like I said,
It was just impressive.
they made everyone look good.
And you know what? The Viking Raiders were, when they were in Ring of Honor, they were incredible in New Japan.
Yeah.
They were great. And yeah, but like we said, no one really looked bad in that match. I think it worked really well. It was a great second match. It would have been a great first match too.
I think we just disrespected Chad Gable, not mentioning how much of a beast athletically he was.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Strowman.
Don't
Yeah,
forget that. Yes.
yeah, we got to mention that.
Rolling Germans on Brian. I keep forgetting what they call that, but that was just amazing.
That was amazing. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, that goes to show that it doesn't matter how Shorty G, quote unquote, was, that man still could still wrestle anybody. Don't matter the size. He can still give it to you either way. But yeah, that was definitely better. It was a better match than expected. I will say that.
Definitely.
Next we had Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. Of course, with the entrances, I think if you kind of look deeply, I saw a little not jabs, but like nuances or tributes to Shawn Michaels, both with the zip line and with a little bit of Seth's outfit, just a little bit. But of course, Logan Paul, he's going to do his spots or whatever. But of course, this, again, he proves he still gets it on how to be a wrestler and an entertainer in this business. But of course, Seth freaking Rollins did pull out the win, a much needed win for him. What do you think about that match, fellas?
I got a question. The whole zip line thing, did he zip line like a quarter of the way down the ramp? I mean, shouldn't you zip line all the way to the ring? I mean, was it because the prom bottle was with him? I thought that was cool, but then he stopped about a quarter of the way.
Well, I think it was because of the prime bottle plus the size of the arena.
Another thing, the stage was incredible. I thought the building looked incredible, man. It was amazing.
Man.
That's one of their top sets ever.
It was nice, real nice. But yeah, as far as the match, Logan Paul's not out of place. He respects the business. He's very athletic. He's not out of place. He doesn't look like he doesn't belong in there. And I'm sure Seth had a lot to do with that also. But it was a great match. I kind of figured Seth was going to go over because Logan's not a full-time guy. So I looked for Seth to get into the championship picture, especially if they split the belt soon. Especially because he's talking junk about Cody and stuff. Did you see that? But apparently they might have had an altercation backstage or something. I don't know if that's kayfabe or if that's real life.
I didn't hear about that. I have to look into that.
Did you really anything about that?
They may have come to blows. Yeah, they almost came to blows or something. I don't know for sure, but yeah.
That would have to be an angle because
I think it's an angle too. Yeah,
I don't see Logan
Paul.
I mean, Logan Paul's a jerk, I'm sure, in real life, but when it comes to wrestling, I see him respecting the business.
No, it was Seth and Cody.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you know what?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that maybe if it's kayfabe, you'd have to go back to when Seth injured Cody.
Right.
I mean, there's a built-in angle there already because of all the stuff that's happened between them, and if Cody happens to get a belt, or there's a title match right there.
Yeah, but I just want to bring overall. What do you think about the match, though?
I just want to bring up the fact that Logan Paul put Seth in an octopus submission.
That was amazing. I remember that. Yeah, I know exactly.
Like we said it before. Yeah, he gets it. And that whole KSI thing now, I'm 41 years old. I'm not into the whole YouTube thing. So my first question was, who is this guy? And my son jumps up, KSI, KSI. Oh my God, it's KSI. So they did something right with that.
I just thought it was freaking hilarious that there was a dancing prime bottle outside the ring.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a
But
lot
think
of
about it
people.
like this though. Go ahead, Curtis.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought it was his brother Jake, but turns out you got
Yeah,
KSI.
that was
But I
my first
liked what he
guess.
did. He tried to do the whole selfie thing, and then next thing you know, he gets grabbed onto the table and he ends up taking a bump.
But think about it. That's where now you have selfies at all angles. Now you've had him doing the selfie, doing the elbow. Now you have a selfie
Of
receiving
taking the elbow,
a
right? Yeah,
splash.
yeah. All angles. You know, his brother lost his boxing match this weekend, by the way.
I think that's the second time he's lost recently.
Yeah,
It was a decision, so it didn't look like a great match. I watched the highlights.
Cal, you got anything else to add about the Seth Rollins match?
Great moment. Did what it was supposed to do. I like Clifton. I have no idea who KSI is, but if that got the new generation to stand up and pop, that was the point of it. So congratulations to Jake Paul and Cyndi Lauper, or whoever that was.
What? Good night.
I thought it was R-Truth for a second there.
I
Yeah,
honestly thought
that's
it was
nice little sneak jab right there. Next we had Damage Control versus women's tag team champs of Lita and Becky Lynch that's teaming up with Trish Stratus for this 6-woman tag.
I
There were
cut
some
this one
good
off.
things back and forth about the match.
I did not see
Timing
it.
may have been a little off, but you got to remember you're dealing with 2 Hall of Famers who aren't constantly going. And I think overall, they did some spots that actually still reminds you that they are Hall of Famers for a reason. But Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita did come out with the win. So what do you guys think of that match?
I'm gonna be a heel right now. Lita did not look good to me. I'm sorry. I cut the match off, so
Well,
I couldn't watch it.
you
So if
missed the one
you
good
guys
thing.
can say if there was good stuff in it.
She did the moonsault. The moonsault looked good.
Yeah, Pierre said that earlier too.
I can't say much else about Lita. Trish looked good. She didn't look too out of place.
But I get having them. They're Hall of Famers. Unlike Stacy Keibler, that's another story for another time. She has no business being in the Hall of Fame as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, I get having them there because you know the crowd. They're diva, not diva. They're not divas. They're wrestlers, and they're definitely Hall of Famers, and they had great careers. So it's not a. There's a reason to have them there for sure.
Yeah,
I will kind of give them I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Like you said, they haven't been doing this like every day. So there's a little bit of ring rust here and there. You can kind of expect that. You can't expect them to go full speed with younger talent.
But Cena doesn't wrestle either, and he didn't look like he was out of place. When's the last time he wrestled? Twice in a year? I mean, I'm sure Lita's my age, so I'm not saying I can get in there and do what she did because I can't.
but you also have to keep in mind, one, look at the time difference between the last time Cena wrestled and the last time Trish or Lita wrestled. And 2, Cena is constantly in shape doing movies.
Yeah, you're right. He's jacked. Yeah. I'm not trying to beat up on her because I couldn't get in there and do it. So
I don't think any of us
you
could
have
have
to
done
look
that.
at it at different eyes. You have to look at it different eyes when you're dealing with someone who is not an everyday wrestler versus someone who is a wrestler.
You're right.
I kind of agree with that, Jonathan, because like if you take the 2 teams and it's Hall of Famer, it's a feel-good match, that's great. But you've got, Bailey, Io, and Dakota Kai, who we've been trying for a while to make them like a big threat in the women's division, but if they keep losing, especially again.
Not only a threat, they're the future of the division.
Right. So I feel like they really should have won. Like it can still be a feel-good, we can see Trish and Lita in the ring again, but in the end, these people are, newer, younger, stronger, and faster.
And then it's odd. It's odd not to have the belts on the line at WrestleMania. Just kind of weird.
Yeah, you should never go have titles there and then you're not defending them. And and I actually picked Damage Control to win. I was hoping they would probably get a rub, and maybe Becky Lynch could eat the L there, but but that kind of shocked me a little bit. And one thing, just another little fun fact. I believe this is now 2 WrestleManias in a row that Becky Lynch has comic book related entrances.
Yeah, the entrances were cool for that match.
Oh, speaking of
I
comic
think that-
books, going back to Jake Paul, did you not think his outfit looked a little Wolverine-ish, maybe? Like the blue and yellow Wolverine, kind of, sort of?
Kind of, sort of.
I didn't see. I'm a big
If you
Wolverine
squint your
fan. I didn't.
eyes, maybe.
You didn't see it?
I
Maybe
didn't
I'm-
see it, and
maybe
I'm a
I'm-
big Wolverine fan. So
Okay, well, maybe it was just me then. Sorry.
I'm a Wolverine fan. I remember the old school, and
didn't think so?
I see the vibe
Just
that
the
you're going with.
colors,
But I
I
still
guess,
just
yeah.
didn't see it overall.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm-
I think
sorry,
Johnny
that's a-
Gargano did it better.
That's a tangent. My bad. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you're
that's
you're
a
good,
whole
you're
other
good.
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion we can get into as far as comic books. And then the next match, which a lot of people are definitely looking forward to, we have Rey Mysterio taking on Dominic Mysterio. I think the entrance for Dominic was hilarious, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was.
And of course, there were some spots that happened that fans definitely got their money's worth. But in the end, Ray did pull it out with a 619 as usual to get the win. I think it was definitely a good match. There were some things here and there that maybe I thought was going to happen, but didn't. But overall, it definitely was a solid match. What do you think, guys?
Hey, did Ray go to a different style of mask? He had almost like a Muda mask on. It looked like.
That's what I got out of that.
It was Muda style
Was it Muda?
as a
Yeah.
dedication.
I loved Dominic's outfit. I thought that mask was cool as crap. It looked awesome. Did he? I think he gave it to somebody on the way into the ring. But yeah,
He dropped it. He just took it. He
Oh,
just
did he
took it
just
off
drop it?
and dropped it.
the whole
Yeah.
Hannibal Lecter deal is hilarious, and that kid he's going to be a star too. I think if he's not already, honestly, he's embraced the way he interacted with his mom and his sister and played all that off and kept blowing his nose. He's got it. It seems like guys that are nice in real life seem to like Jericho is one of the nicest people I ever met in my life. Tremendous heel. Jerry Lawler, same thing. One of the nicest people I ever met. It seems like they embrace that role because it's not who they are. It's like the total polar opposite. It's like, I think I would make a great heel in wrestling, but anyway, that's just the way I feel. Like everyone I've ever met that's been a good heel. Well, maybe not MJF because I've heard a lot of things about him.
Oh,
As far as,
No,
I don't
not
think he's
MJF.
I don't think he's kayfabe, but he's a different bird of a different feather. But most guys that are great heels are very nice people in real life that I've ever met.
Yeah, Rhea Ripley was definitely sweet. We'll get into her later, but
Yeah, we talked about her yesterday.
But I will say that Dominic gets it, like you said. The guy's been like a sponge. He's learned. He's keeping himself teachable. He wants to learn more. He wants to be that star, but he's keeping himself grounded. And like you said, he's got star written all over him. And this is not something you're gonna get with multi-generational stars, because a lot of times you could have a Hall of Fame father, but sometimes the son doesn't turn out, or you'll probably have not so much, it's like a legend, but not necessarily Hall of Fame father. And then next thing you know, 2 generations later, you get some guy named Randy Orton.
Who's way better than his dad. God bless
Yeah.
his dad. His dad was a tremendous performer, but Randy's way better than his dad.
Yeah.
I think the
Absolutely.
luchador, culture is a lot different when it comes to grooming up their sons as wrestlers. So I
Yeah.
think they had to learn a whole level of respect. And I think Ray imparted that in Dominic as far as embracing this role.
And them letting him go in the Hall of Fame while he's still active was a tremendous gesture. I mean, that guy, there's no doubt, and he's one of the greatest ever. For as small a fella as he is.
I love the match. It had great pace. I love the entrances. I really want to see Dom come out with the low rider, but they gave it to Ray, so that's fine. Something we were talking and texting back and forth during the match. We were talking about the pace and how Ray is much faster. He wrestles a much faster, non-stop pace, and Dom doesn't wrestle that pace. He wrestles a little bit slower. And I compared it to Notorious B.I.G. doing a track with Bone Thugs and Harmony. They 2 different styles, 2 different speeds, but they mesh together so well. And I mean, they're father and son. I know they've been that was their dream match. I'm sure they've been waiting for that moment their whole lives, but the pacing was great. They both had great spots. Dominic looked great as a heel in that match. He has improved on his in-ring personality. He's improved on his ring work. Everything looked great. That was an
only
awesome
gonna get
match.
better. Only
Yeah.
gonna get
And he's
better.
only going to get better. That's what I love about it.
Is he gonna wrestle
That's the
Bad
scary
Bunny
part.
at the next pay-per-view? Is that the question? Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
supposed to be a
we'll
tag
see.
match.
You know, if we'll see.
I can kind of see
I don't know.
Dom and Priest against Ray and Bad Bunny. That'll be that would sell.
Yeah,
Cav,
I
what
like
you
Bad
think?
Bunny. You got to put Bad Bunny with like a really good wrestler though. Like he can do some spots, but he's going to be carried a little bit. No
He
disrespect.
wrestled Miz, didn't he?
It was
Yeah, he
Miz and
teamed-
Morrison with
Yeah, he
Damian
teamed up with
Priest.
Priest. Yeah,
Okay. Speaking of people that have no ego, Miz
yeah.
gets it.
Zero ego.
And
None.
right. And we'll talk about the Miz here in a little bit. But definitely a good solid match between Ray and Dominic. Next, possibly the match that actually, in my opinion, definitely stole the night. If not stole the night, it was definitely up there with the main event. Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. You can definitely tell different.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say this.
Hey, I
I'm
got the
gonna
daddy
cut
shirt
short to
on,
say
so
this.
you know already know.
Storyline wise, I get why they made the tag match the main
Oh,
event,
sorry.
but
No, that's
that
fair.
was the main event.
That was
Rhea
incredible.
and
Exactly.
Charlotte was the real main event.
forget stole
Exactly.
the night. Might have stole the whole weekend.
That was the night.
Look, I
That
was
was
ready to turn the
nice.
TV off after that match. 'Cause I legitimately forgot there was still a tag team match coming. And I've been looking forward to this
Bad
match.
decision.
for-
Oh
Bad
crap! There's one more.
decision.
There's one more.
I was like, wow, great job. Like I was texting you guys like, wow, that was a great first night. Way to go, wrap it up. I was getting a
Good
snack.
night, guys.
there.
See you tomorrow.
Right.
Um,
I'd have been
Oh wait, there's another match. Okay.
well, but
And my gosh, you see the growth of Rhea Ripley from where she was when she fought Charlotte the first time in NXT to where she is now.
And
My
she
gosh,
wasn't
she's
bad.
so much better.
Once
She
again,
was-
No, that's what I'm
she
saying. The
wasn't
fact that she's
bad.
grown
once
Yeah.
again, she's a
now at
star
elite
now.
level now.
Definitely. Yeah, she's a star, definitely. She
yeah,
has the look, she has the in-ring presence, she knows how to work the crowd, and she doesn't look out of place in there. Charlotte's
And she can
I would say
work.
Charlotte's a
She
Hall of
can
Famer.
work.
She's gotta be a Hall of Famer.
tough as
14-time champion.
nails.
Yeah.
Oh, they both are. Charlotte and Rhea both are. Charlotte definitely, but Rhea, if nothing else, she earned that this weekend.
And I get that people don't want Charlotte to have the title all the time, but I will still defend Charlotte as a wrestler. Is she the same wrestler as her father is? No. She's an amazing athlete. She can definitely put on a show and knows how to put people over. And she's gonna do everything it takes to carry whoever in their match. Now, let's go kind of rewind last year. She took on Ronda Rousey. Definitely a dud, but it was almost a complete 180 where you're getting perhaps arguably the best match of the night.
Well, she was wrestling one-on-one with Ronda Rousey, and Ronda Rousey is not
Like I
a
said,
great wrestler. Yeah, you know, a triple
Night
threat
and day
maybe,
difference.
not one-on-one. Or
Night and
tag
day
match.
difference. And there were a couple of spots, including one of those German suplexes. I thought she landed on her head. I'm like,
Yeah,
Man, she
yeah,
was like- she
yeah.
was
I
that
thought she broke her
close.
neck almost. It was
Like,
yeah, that
She
was
actually
very
got
bad.
a mat burn on her nose.
Yeah,
Did she?
From-
Yeah,
from
and
landing
I'm
that way.
surprised she didn't break her nose.
I'm surprised she didn't
But
break
yeah,
her neck.
she was that close from landing on her head or her neck.
Right.
but
The
anybody
one
who
thing I
said,
will say is,
yeah,
Go ahead,
and I
Kurt,
just,
Cal.
but
Curtis,
anybody
I'm
who
sorry.
says that Charlotte can't wrestle, you haven't been following her career. She can go.
right,
Yeah.
she can go. One thing, and you saw the smile on Charlotte's face.
She was
After
very
Rhea won.
happy that Rhea won. You could tell
Yeah.
definitely she was very appreciative of the
Like she
you know,
knows
putting her
that
over
she
and
knows
knowing
that that
what
was
she
for
did
best
was
for
right.
business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then she said something on Twitter, I think, or
Same
Instagram or
thing.
something later about it was the right thing to do. And, you know, God bless her. And she's the right one to have the title now. So
Yeah.
Right. I think we might be seeing a Roman-esque run for Rhea. I just have a feeling that they might put her on that type of run. Maybe not so many days, but that type of dominance going forward.
yeah, because
see
I
that coming for
mean
Rhea.
is she the biggest person in the women's division, size wise?
Size wise, I would say so.
Well,
as far as
you also
height,
got
far as
Raquel.
Height, but still got Piper Niven, who
Yeah,
weight wise
yeah.
is the
Weight-wise.
heaviest. Yeah.
Well, I just meant like
But height wise, her and
domineering.
Charlotte are about
Yeah,
even.
yeah, domineering size wise, and yeah, Piper Niven's big, but I mean,
And
Rhea's scary and intimidating, and you know what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
Yeah.
she
In the
came in.
ring,
She came in number one at the Rumble. and
Almost like a
won everything,
Nia
so-
Jax, but she's on a different level, I think. Nia was big, but Rhea's just talented and intimidating. And,
intimidating in the ring. Outside the
Right.
ring, one of the sweetest people. Like I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
earlier.
I would actually like to see them make her the leader of Judgment Day.
I think they already have.
You know,
I think
She
she's
kind of
de
is.
one.
I think she's
I
kind of like a
she's
de facto leader. Matter of
Yeah,
fact.
I was gonna
Well,
say
they
that,
were
yeah.
already doing that.
that would be really smart for her to just do the same thing she's doing, like whispering in Dominic's ear. She does that to everyone else, and like so they're just following her, and she is just like that would be perfect. But I will say real quick,
That's a good.
Charlotte, I like her big up to Brooklyn tribute with the puffer jacket robe. That was real nice. Nice little touch there. So
Yeah,
Now that I think
definitely.
about it, why not have her hold on to the title at least till Survivor Series and have her finally get with Bianca Belair, and we'll probably talk about that later. Why not have them together
But
for a champion versus champion match?
I told you my fantasy
that's why I
booking
think
was-
it's going to happen. I think that's why I say she might go on a Roman type run.
Well, I told you my fantasy booking was I would love to see her carry the belt to next year's WrestleMania. In that year, build up Raquel on SmackDown. Let Raquel win the Rumble next year. And imagine
Raquel has some work to go though.
But
Raquel has some work to
she's
go.
got a year. She's got a year. Imagine she works
Yeah.
on it in a year. She's close to what Rhea's level was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And you have her win the Rumble, and next year at Mania, Raquel versus Rhea. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's a good possibility right there.
possibility, but she got
That'll be a
ways to
good
I wouldn't be
powerhouse
mad
match.
at it. Yeah, it would definitely be a powerhouse match for sure. And that before the main event, we have a impromptu match, if you will, by one of the hosts of WrestleMania, the Miz, if you will.
If you will.
Pat McAfee made an appearance at WrestleMania, ended up having an impromptu match with the Miz, and thanks to a little help from George Kittle, which is Curtis's, favorite tight end.
Bang bang, not again.
Pause on that. Pat McAfee ended up getting the win. So, what do you guys think of that small little match?
It was
Again,
fun. I
yeah.
mean, it wasn't, a classic match. It was
It was a
what it
filler.
was a fun match.
It was a filler
It was a
match.
filler, yeah. But you
Yeah.
know what? I'm glad you get to at least say, hey, Miz had a match at WrestleMania, because I mean Miz earned it. So, I'm not mad at it. I liked it. It was fun.
Question is, would he have one or two matches for WrestleMania?
It's
We'll
just
discuss
Miz
that
having
later.
fun. That is Miz legitimately having fun, because we've seen them just, or at least I've seen him, especially on his reality show. You watch it if you haven't, but he's just having fun in the ring, just doing all kind of crazy things. And I will say, and yes, I'm a bit biased, but it's always nice to have first off, my favorite player and my favorite Niner and Cowboy Killer getting involved,
Oh, Lord.
Really?
and not get hurt.
Really?
Yes, really.
Shots fired.
Like the Miz.
Wow. I'm
Really.
sorry. I'm seeing what's happening on Raw. Wow.
What happened?
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
All right.
But
Yeah.
like I said, it was just a little thing to just have fun with.
I love Pat McAfee, man. I love that guy. He's
Yeah.
exuberant. Again, another guy that's not from the business but respects the hell out of the business, and he doesn't mind taking chances. I hope he doesn't injure himself sometime. He's kind of almost like a football playing Shane McMahon. But yeah, it was a fun little match, and like we said, Miz has no ego. He has no problem putting people over, and that was cool. So.
Right. Calvin, want to wrap that up?
I love Pat, but it should have been LA Knight. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 yeah,
Dummy.
yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, now we're now we're coming to
Could have used him for something, to do a commercial or something. Anything.
Right. Have him eat some Snickers or something.
Hey, not. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Kevin was a little too
Absolutely.
casual with those.
Have him do his turbo taxes.
Oh Lord, yeah, just
Yeah.
or Mike's Hard Lemonade, which was appropriate for that match.
Yeah, for the
A
we'll
little-
go with that one.
Hey,
Maybe too much so
Hey, that
for
turbo
another
tax.
match. A little too
that turbo tax is just a reminder.
Possibly
Hey,
inappropriate.
taxes due April
Tax season's
18th.
coming.
Oh, thank you. I
Possibly
got 2 more
inappropriate
weeks
for
to file
another
my
match
taxes,
on
yeah.
day
Man, you know what? They
two.
should have had Erwin R. Shyster out there with turbo tax.
Oh, that would have been great.
Missed opportunity. Man.
Yeah, there's a
Jesus.
couple of missed opportunities
Oh,
for
boy.
Mania.
This is the
And of
wrestling
course,
podcast, but we also have good tax advice. Tax Dirk's going
Exactly.
to be due on April 17th.
And lots
15th falls on the weekend.
and lots of busts on the
There you go.
Cowboys. You can count on that also from Curtis to Clinton. I'm a Steeler fan, but I'm not going to say anything about the Cowboys because I love Clinton too much. So I'm not gonna.
but
And for the record, I
Hey,
still love you,
we can go
Jonathan,
on.
but
We all love each other, so it's all good.
but Corey
It's
Gray,
all fun.
but Corey
it's
Gray
all
still
fun.
deserves to be punched in the face for talking about my Niners.
Oh Lord.
Come on, man. You had a
Hey.
Niner at WrestleMania. You know, it's good enough.
All right,
Right.
we're getting off on a tangent again. Sorry.
Yeah. So of course we come to the main event for the night.
Mm.
The Usos versus KO and Sammy. The storytelling in this match was
Incredible.
awesome. And
The
of
build
course,
up to
how
that
poetic.
match.
Even up to the whole storyline overall with the Usos and Sammy, who is of course the MVP for 2022-2023, if you will. You know, with the whole storyline, but how poetic for Sami Zayn to hit 3 haluva kicks on Jay of all people
Yeah, on
to
Jay.
get the pin.
How beautiful when he did it the one time when he held him almost like he was sorry that he was doing it. That was just beautiful.
No, because remember he got held. Jay held him up a couple of times before they demolished him. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna do it back to you, and I'm gonna give you 2 more on top.
Yeah,
of
it's like he was
Yeah.
thinking about it. Like I remember, you know.
Yeah, there were so many
I mean-
false finishes in that match. It was
I
amazing.
mean, there were so many stories being told because you got the whole bloodline story. Plus, you have the story of these 2 brothers, this team that started up together, came through the Indies together, and now they're at the pinnacle of their career. They're at the big show in the main event for the tag titles.
And the tears on their faces were real.
Man,
you
it
could tell
doesn't,
they were
it
doesn't
definitely
get more beautiful
touched.
than that.
Yeah.
The only reason I did not give that match a standing ovation was because I was worn out on emotion. They really took us on an emotional roller coaster, and it's just like every second you're just on pins and needles. I mean, you couldn't have booked that match any better.
Yeah, the long-term storytelling, like, that's been something we've been wanting in wrestling for a long time now, because you just don't get that. This is like 3+ years. They go back to Sammy last WrestleMania having a celebrity match and losing and being embarrassed.
Against Johnny Knoxville, yeah. This is
Yeah.
like old school.
Which was a great match, by the way. Absolutely one of my favorite all-time WrestleMania.
That was
matches.
a fun match. A lot of
That was a
people
fun-
crap on that match. That was a fun match.
Which leads us to the bloodline breakup. This is like old school back in the day. I remember Scott Hall telling a story about when he and the 1, 2, 3 Kid wrestled, that they planned things out like 9 months in advance. This is like that, the way that they got everything, we've got us on a train ride through all this, and we're all
we still
hooked.
don't know if
We're
that
all
ride is
hooked,
over
and
yet, though.
it's not over. No,
We don't
by a
know.
long
We
shot.
don't know yet.
So yeah,
Curtis.
Yeah, we still got a ways to go.
Okay.
I was about to add that, but like Kevin said, this is something that we've been missing for a long time with long-term storytelling. And sometimes it's always important. I get it. I get you want to leave the crowd wanting more, but if there's more to add to the story and you can give them more, why not?
And I think for a lot of old school wrestling fans, you can tell Triple H definitely sat at the knee of Dusty Rhodes in being able to build this card and to build the story that he's built, because you can see Dusty's hands everywhere in this.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. And it's nice to see that we're now at a point they're not trying to change match finishes literally right at the end or right before the match starts. No, we're seeing the long-term payout, which is a beautiful thing to watch. And one thing, we definitely are missing in wrestling.
which in the end, I mean, we've talked about this, the difference between AEW and WWE. it's much more satisfying when you go on that trip down the bloodline, the twists and turns with Sammy, and to see now we're speculating who's going to knock Roman off and what's going to happen. I mean, I'm ready for the next whatever. It's great.
Definitely is. So that was night one.
Wow,
And to me, that was
incredible.
That was
I don't
in
think you
my-
could have booked a better
I
card
think
than
that
that,
was in
really,
my-
to tell the truth.
in my top 10 manias.
It's a top five for me.
At least top 10, yeah.
It's top five for me. I
Seems
mean,
like every time, ever since they've gone to 2-night WrestleManias, they either hit a home run or close to one on night one.
right. And like I said, just the whole booking of the card, the way they did it, the crowd stayed in the moment the whole night.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
didn't really have a letdown. So I mean, that made it way
Oh,
more
and that
awesome
pop,
to me.
that reaction Sammy and KO got at the end of the night. Or even,
I mean, that was the perfect way
ring-
to end the night.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how could you not root for those guys? The blood, sweat, and tears they put into their careers, and you know, all of us watch them in the indies and whatnot, and just being a person in general, the things you've gone through in life, and when you finally get to the goal that you're trying to reach, how satisfying it is.
One of those moments you just want you just want the fans that are watching on be like, you know what? I would have liked to have been there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we might get this under 40 minutes. My goodness.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been night one recap. And like I said, this is definitely one of the best cards,
Good stuff,
especially
fellas.
just story flow.
Well done,
Just
Triple
the
H.
flow.
Well done.
Definitely shout out to Triple H. I may not have liked him when he was a wrestler, but I gotta give it to
Yeah.
him as being head of creative. He's
No,
definitely been awesome.
Definitely.
And I hope he doesn't go anywhere, especially with the changes they're making. But we will talk about that.
No,
also
I
later.
think he's there for as long as he
Oh
wants to be.
no, he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere. No, not
Not if Vince
he's
is
not
still
going
running
anywhere.
things. He's not going anywhere.
Vince
No
can
one
do
has a
whatever he
shot.
wants business wise, but creative, let Triple H handle it.
Most watched, most merch, most sponsorships, which we saw a ton of all night long. Like wrestling's back going, up to the old era. So,
In the right direction.
not going
Definitely.
anywhere.
That's what WrestleMania was all about.
Better storytelling, deeper stories, more stars, more uniqueness,
Better matches.
Yeah.
much better.
Yes.
Yeah, that felt like WrestleMania again. Yeah, definitely. Every match was great, and just the way it built up to the crescendo of the main event, and then just the satisfaction of those guys winning the titles. It was well done.
It definitely was. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our recap of night one of WrestleMania. So, for the fellas here at Ringside, check out part 2 of the recap of WrestleMania. So, until then, we'll see y'all later.
Good job,
Ringside
fellas.
right
Good
now.
job.
But,